Alright guys, today we've got a Nissan Murano and we've got some rusty bolts. We thought we'd show you some tools and some techniques to help you get some rusty bolts off. So let's get into it. So what we're doing is we're replacing this front pipe. We've got the new pipe here. We've already taken care of a couple bolts here in the back. If you notice, the rear flange here has got holes in it. So there's no studs in that one. So if you come up here to the vehicle, you'll see that on this vehicle, on this pipe, the studs are actually in that pipe. That unfortunately the new one doesn't have the studs in it. So no big deal. We were able to use this technique, and you can actually see we actually saved the threads even on this. So if we needed to replace this back pipe, we could take that back pipe off, put the new one on, and even put some new nuts on it. In this case, it really didn't do us much good because we could have just got this pipe out of the way. The new one's going to have a hole in it. We could have just put a bolt and a nut. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But it is going to matter on the front. So if we look here, this is pretty rusty. I mean, I'm sure even for you northern guys, this is pretty rusty. So, and on this one, if we notice, the holes are in this pipe, right? Which is the pipe we're replacing. So we need to save those studs, because if we come down here, it's the holes right here. So we need to save the studs that are on the car, on that down pipe on the car, because we need to just be able to put that pipe on and put some new nuts on it. Now we're not going to be able to save the nuts. So, which is no big deal, but hopefully we can save these studs. So let me show you what we're going to use. We're going to use, hopefully, this technique is we're going to use the mini ductor. Love this tool. It's going to get it cherry red hot, and we're going to be able to control where the heat is with this, as opposed to using like we've done for almost all of my career, which would be we would get the torch up in here and heat it up. The problem with the torch is that flame is going to be going everywhere. We've got the oil pan here, we've got some oil leaks, we've got some rubber bushings, we've got things here we don't want fire to go to. So this is going to let us localize that heat right on that stud. So we're definitely going to be using some protection here, because the other tool we're going to be using is going to be the air hammer. Now I've got a snap-on air hammer, and I use it for most jobs. This is, I think, called a Big Dog or something. I think it's available on Amazon. This thing is heavy duty. It does not take your normal size adapters or fittings or tools. It's an oversized tool, and if you guys are needing some little extra oomph, this thing will do it. We've had them where we've had the regular air hammer on it wouldn't do it, and this one would. So I just happened to grab it. I don't think we're going to need it for this, but it doesn't matter. So let's go ahead. We're going to have Nacho come in. He's going to get this thing cherry red. We're going to start with this one, and then we're going to see if we can't. The first technique I'm going to try to use is, and I know I'm going to abuse some tools here. Hold on, back that off of there for just a second, Nacho. I just want to see. Yeah, first thing I'm going to try to do is take this socket. He's going to get it cherry red. I'm going to try and knock this socket on and see if an impact won't take it off. Right, so that's going to be our first try. So we'll let him get that cherry red. And that bad boy will get it really hot. It'll get it as hot as a torch could ever get it. So you can see it already started to get a little bit red. Let's set this stuff down. Let's see if I can't. It's tapped on there. And if this doesn't go on pretty easily, then we're going to just move on to the next. All right, and I am not going to put a lot of pressure on this. Unfortunately, I'm going to need a little extension. Because I don't want to break that stud. Gonna get loud. Nope, it just came off. All right, go ahead, Nacho. Did it move? Yeah. No, let's get her hot again. Get it hot again, Nacho. Oh, so now we're waiting for the tool. Got to cool off.
We have been using it on the.
We've been using it quite a bit. It usually goes for quite a while. It's one of Nacho's and I's favorite tools. We use it all the time. Okay, we're gonna see. I don't see that. I can't tell. I'm gonna have to put a light up there. Yeah, it might have moved. I don't know. We're gonna find out. All right, here we go. Go ahead and get it good and hot. Like get it cherry red. And there's all kind of different adapters for this, different sizes. There's ones that are not pre-curled. You can get just one and you can curl it around stuff. This is not a sales pitch for a mini ductor. We don't, we're not in any partnership or anything with them. We do use it a lot.
They're
all right,
real hot
it's hot now. All right, so now we're gonna try this again. And there we go. She's off. And those threads are fantastic. Look at the threads up here. That's the ones we need to worry about. So, I mean, that stud looks perfectly fine. So now let's try that same process on the next one. So let's go ahead.
Since that's going to probably work, what would be the alternative?
So the alternative to this would be what we did on the back. So the back ones were really, you couldn't even see that there was really barely even the shape of a nut. And so what I did was I took this, Nacho got it really, really hot. I took this and I just hit the nut, and it was so bad that it cut the nut, basically. It broke the nut in half. And then I just hit it again, and it took the other half off. So basically I just used the air. So what we're looking at here, what both of these are doing is it's jarring it, right? It's putting it, it's sitting there going so by doing that, as opposed to you putting a ratchet on here and turning it, right? The jarring motion is what's actually helping to break that thing loose and not break the stud. So, I mean, theoretically, you could put this on there with a ratchet, and I think in a lot of cases it would break the stud, whereas you put it on there and you use the impact and just that jarring. And again, we're not just going full-blown, half-inch impact, wide open, woo, right? We're not trying to do that. What we're trying to do is get that jarring motion going with the impact, and lightly, and let it do its job, right? And you might even have to spray it a little bit. So, but let's go ahead and try this one. Go ahead and I was talking there, Nacho said, let's go ahead and, well, we gotta wait for it to cool off again. So, but this is still, even having to wait for this thing to cool off a little bit every once in a while, this is way more efficient and so much safer than a set of torches. And I know, guys, I've used them most of my career, and yeah, you can get the brazing tip on there, and you can control the fire and get it really close. I understand that, but this thing right here puts the heat right where we want it and doesn't sit. There's no flame, there's no open flame at all. It's just way safer than using a torch. There's still going to be times when you have to use a torch, but we're good. All right. We've used this thing on so many exhaust manifold bolts is our favorite thing to use it on. Like, I mean, this is a downpipe, obviously, but this thing will definitely come in handy. And it's not a super expensive tool either. You do have to replace these sometimes. These do wear out. All right. We're gonna let that thing get nice and hot, because I'm gonna tap this thing on again, and we're gonna see if it'll hopefully pop it right loose again. For those of you that use this tool a lot, leave your comments down there. Let us know what you think of it. What do you use it for? All right. All right. Well, not so lucky on this one. All right. I'm going to need to use our other technique on this guy. All right. Actually, before we do that, just going to give it a shot here. Just because my last resort is the chisel. Because once we go with the chisel, we are committed. So. I just put air coil on it. I don't think this is going to do it. All right, nope. And here's the thing. All right, so now we get to this point. We good? Let's go ahead and get it hot again. Now we get to this point, and a lot of times we want to get over aggressive, and we're like, I want that thing to break loose, and we're going to put more and more on it. And you might get lucky and it might break loose. You might get unlucky and it snap the stud. We don't want to snap this stud. So at that point, you just gotta say, okay, gotta take my medicine, gotta stop. Let's go with this. Let's see if we can't get it to come, break with this. So now with this, I'm going to use some ear protection, and I'm going to get a light. Get my brand new light that I just bought, because I needed another light. See if I can't put this in there.
Cameraman has on protection, so you just
Everybody's got on the protection. All right, here we go. I think it moved. I think it moved anyway. Could be wrong. I think it moved. Let's go ahead and get it hot again, Nacho. And guys, this is just, you're doing something like this. Hopefully I'm not too loud here. When you're doing something like this, patience. Patience. Keep that off the hose. All right, there's two. So that was a combination of techniques there. Now we got that very last one to do. And it does look like the worst one. Probably, let me see something. Okay, go ahead, Nacho. Get a little longer extension. All right, we're just gonna let that get nice and hot again. And again, guys, this is one of those things where we want to get in a hurry. It's like drilling out a stud, right? It's like drilling out a broken bolt or drilling out a stud. You cannot get in a hurry with that. We're already in a mess. You gotta stop, slow down, do it methodically, You know, when you're drilling something out, get it centered, take your time, center punch it properly, you know, because now you're committed, you know. So
This also will show people why shops charge what they do when there's rust.
oh yeah, I mean, this is definitely one of the reasons why rusty cars you charge more for, because this should just literally be,
Yeah.
you know, just take it off, right? I mean, oh, it's trying. Nope. It's trying. All right, let's get it hot again, Nacho. Waiting on it to cool off again. And I know already you guys are in the comments, man, you're banging on your extension and you're banging on the socket. Guys, we got to get this thing off, right? I'm not going to use a cheap socket on this. Do not use a cheap socket on this. That's a snap-on socket. It's a quality socket. It's an impact socket. Yeah, I'm banging it on there, but I need something that's going to grab. Yeah, we would want to use something cheap so if we break it or something happens to it, but the reality is we need something that's going to grab it, and that's going to be our best choice, is going to be this. You don't want to use a chrome socket because they're going to want to spread. You need something that's going to hold tight once you bang it on there. And yeah, I mean, I am hitting it with a brass hammer, but yeah, I'm hitting this extension. And that's just sometimes part of what we do, you know, part of what we have to do in this business. I mean, we all have tools that we've made and cut and ground down, and, you know, it is what it is. We got to get it off. And if we charge appropriately, it's not a big deal. And if you've got a good relationship with your tool guy, which I do, they're not going to complain as long as you don't sit there and do it all the time. I mean, that extension is not going to be damaged by this at all. And the reality is neither is that socket. So, all right, keep going. We look at that right there. That thing is getting nice and cherry red. And look how controlled that is. Look at how the outside of that is not. You don't see anything glowing on the outside of it. You just see what's inside that. So perfect. So controlled. All right. We're just going to try to break up all this gunk around the base. This is going to be a tough one. That's hot. That's hot. She broke loose right there.
Yep.
All right, let's get it hot again. Again, patience, guys. You see it turning, you want to go, but we'll get it hot. And we will take our time.
That's not good stuff.
Oh, this is really good stuff. Yeah, this stuff's really, really good stuff. It's really expensive, but it's good. So, does the job. I know there's a lot of, you know, PB blaster guys and stuff out there, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's just this stuff's at a different level. We're looking into buying it as a 55-gallon drum because these cans are hard to come by now. We used to have a company that used to ship them to us, but I don't know what Aerocrawl has done. They've changed or something. So, but the 55-gallon drum is crazy expensive. All right. All right. See if we can't. Look at there. She's off. And no studs. Look good. I mean, we'll get this off and out of the way. We got 3 more to do over here that are a little different because these are bolts. At least that one and that one. Yeah, these are all 3 bolts. So these are going to be a little different. We're still going to heat them up. But we're going to just heat up the flange a little bit around the outside of it and use some air coil on it and see if we can't get those loose. But once we get that out, we'll pull this piece down. We'll clean those studs up, clean the threads up really good, so that when we put the new nuts on there, they're nice. Again, this is just about taking a few minutes to do that. You don't just run a nut on it, you know, clean it up. But that's it, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. I know it's kind of more of a mechanical thing, not an electronic thing, not, you know, diagnostic stuff, but you know, it's one of these, you know, kind of an art to do this. And you know, especially for your younger guys that you know are just getting into it, this is what it takes to do this stuff, and just take your time and you can get it. So anyway, hope you liked it. If you did, thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. We're getting really close to 100,000 now. We appreciate you guys, all you guys hitting subscribe. Again, we're going to give away that e-scan plus more stuff because Automotive Test Solutions have gifted us that e-scan. So happy they did that. So we're going to be able to put another part of the package together. It's going to be a great one, and we're going to ship it, you know, pretty much anywhere. Don't fall for any scams. If somebody contacts you, we've had some people call the shop that they have been contacted that they won something. We will contact you with one of our emails. It'll be, you know, followed with royaltyautoservice.com. We will not ask you for any money, any information whatsoever other than your address, so we can ship it to you. So we're going to pay for everything. So anyway, hope you liked it. Appreciate you. See you in the next one.